Hello, this is your video tutorial for the STAR strategy for revision. This is a method that's going to help you to improve your writing. So remember, let's take a look at what revision is. Revision is a change or a set of changes that corrects or improves something. So when we're talking about revision, I'm not talking about doing a spell check or making sure everything's capitalized correctly. Revision is really taking your draft and kind of tearing it up and changing things around and really taking a look at what you've written and being honest with yourself and saying, okay, where can I make this better? It's, as it says here, a new version of something. So you've got your first draft. Now you're going to do essentially a second draft. You're going to take that first draft. We're going to change some things within that so that it becomes a second draft. It's completely different. It may be similar, but it's different enough that you can see that it's been improved. It's there have been significant changes, so it's not exactly the same as the first draft. So each letter in the STAR methods stands for a step. You know me, I love my acronyms. So the S is to substitute, specifically a weak word for a stronger word. T means to take out any unnecessary words, phrases, or sentences. Sometimes when we write, we accidentally repeat ourselves. So we're going to take out some of those things that are not going to get our point across. If we take stuff out, sometimes we also have to add stuff. So adding more detailed description or elaborating. If you remember the elaboration techniques you've been taught in the past, how to go into more details. Sometimes you really need to zoom in on something and give more explanation so your readers fully understand what you're talking about or to rearrange. When we talk about organization of a piece, sometimes you might have to rearrange entire paragraphs so that it flows in a logical, in a logical way, kind of helping your readers to walk them through your thinking so that they can see the logic in your thinking. Okay, so let's take a look at substitute. What are you going to substitute or what are you replacing? Overused words. So, or what we like to call dead words. Very, really, a lot. Um, trying to think. Pretty, good, bad. So, those are some really weak and some really overused words. So you want to look through your draft and you want to find those words, take them out, and substitute them with more specific words. If you're talking about something that was, sorry, if you want to take a word like pretty, okay, well, w- describe her in a different way. Was she unique? Was she beautiful? So really try to think of other words. One way to do that, if you go into you type in the word in a dictionary, and then go to the synonyms. Look for words that mean the same, but you might find something that's going to fit a little bit better. You want to make sure that your verb tense is the same all the way through. So if you wrote in past tense, you're probably going to want to replace with present tense, something what's happening now. So instead of addressed, you would say address or it addresses. Instead of saying said, you would replace it with says or um, saying. So make sure that your verb tenses are consistent all the way through. You want to change passive verbs with active verbs whenever possible. Passive verbs are those is, are, was, were, has, have, or had. You want to try to take those out and replace them with more active verbs, like again, addresses, meets. Try to think of more active ways to say what you're trying to say. You want to substitute vague details with precise details. For example, she runs away from class to her spot. Okay, that's pretty vague. Um, what class is she running away from? What is her spot? When she runs, is she actually running? Is she kind of shuffling quickly? Is she kind of sneaking? Really try to be more precise with your details. First and second point of view, you might want to replace that with a third person point of view. Um, Depending on the purpose of your writing. So decide, who is your audience? Are you speaking directly to them, or is this something that's a little more formal? So you need to figure out which point of view you're going to be using. Okay, next thing, taking out unnecessary words or sentences. So, again, like I said, if you repeat yourself, any unnecessary repetitions are kind of annoying. A lot of times, you'll see for the example there, Melinda runs, Melinda also hides. In addition, Melinda doesn't talk. The use of the word Melinda 3 times in 3 consecutive sentences, that's unnecessary repetition. You could put all those together into one sentence and it would be much easier for your readers. Any information that does not answer the prompt. So if you have a prompt, you want to make sure that everything that's in there is answering your prompt, that you're addressing it. If you're going off on a rabbit trail, then that's unnecessary. Take that out. We don't need that. And again, any of those dead words, those taboo words, we don't want any of those. So make sure to take those out as well. What do you want to add? Well, you want to add some more details. You want to elaborate. So, any new information that may answer the prompt. So, you took out anything that didn't answer the prompt. Now you got to focus back on what is going to answer your prompt. Expand your ideas. So, if you've mentioned something, you may want to expand on it, give some background information, explain the importance of it, who created that idea, who came up with that, and what did they say about it, how did they implement that idea. So really giving some more details, and then be really clear and concise with your meanings. So clear means it's very obvious, it's explicit. It's not something that your readers have to guess at. You've given them all the details so they can understand. Concise means short and to the point. Don't drag it out. Really get to the point and then move forward. Rearranging, that's just changing the order. That's the sequence to produce the desired effect. So, again, you kind of have to decide what type of organization or what kind of pattern you want. Types of patterns, chronological. Are you talking about events in a chronological way? It started here and then it went to here and then it went to here. Or did you start at point one and then it ended here? Oh, but then in the middle, this happened. That doesn't make logical sense. You got to rearrange it so it all goes in order. You might want to do order of importance. Um, you can do it like it's important, more important, the most important for the last, or you can flip it, most important, and then of less importance, and then of least importance. So decide how you want to order your information. Strength of your argument, especially if you're doing an opinion piece. Um, you want to start with your strongest and best piece of information, and then go to your next strongest piece of information, and then to the weakest. And again, if the weakest is actually can be argued against your own argument, you may want to even take that out. So really think about how you want to organize it. If you're comparing and contrasting similarities and differences of two or more objects, make sure you have all your similarities and then all your differences. Um, that might be one way you order it. You might have similarities and differences in one particular area, then in the next area, then in the next area. That might be another way you can do it too. Cause and effect, you always want to talk about what caused it and then what happened as a result, because that's just logical. This came first, because this came first, then this happened. So make sure you're doing it logically that way. And then a problem or solution. Again, you're going to describe the problem before you give the solution. That just makes logical sense. You don't give a solution before you've described the problem. You don't go backwards. So make sure it's logically done. Okay? If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Otherwise, happy revision.